Hi there, Phil Simborg, USBGF Teaching Pro, and this is a match. The score is 7 away, 0-0 to 7, and notice how I always show the away score. That's what really matters. That's what I care about. And even if I'm playing a match, if you come by and look at my score sheet, it won't say 0-0. It'll say 7 away, because that's really what helps me with my take points and my strategy. Red is on roll, and the question here is, should red double? And if red doubles, should blue take or drop? So give it a little thought and see what you would do here. Okay, if you are a very top player and a real expert, you will see that this is a double and a take. Let me hit the button and show you. It would be a blunder, an 8% error, almost a 9% error not to double this. And it would also be a huge blunder, a 55% error to drop this cube. How can you look at this position and see why this is a double and why this is a big take? Is this a reference position for you? Is this something you've seen many times? Have you been in this position many times? Do you understand why red is going to win this game 60% of the time and win gammons about 20% of the time? Can you see that blue should take because he wins this game 40% of the time and will often be able to get in a recube because he's winning 40% of the time? Until you had some real experience playing backgammon, I don't think there's any way you could really understand this position. You could clearly see how this plays out. Now you can get more information by doing a rollout. If you click on this button right here, which is the rollout button, it will, depending on your settings, play the game out 1,000 times or more and better define these numbers. It will be a little bit more accurate to show you how often you win and how often you get gammon, but that still won't help you understand this position. Well, one of the tools that I use is called most common variation. I try to see what's likely to happen. On red's next roll, red could roll an 8, a 5-3, or a 6-2 and hit this checker. If that happens, it's easy to see why red would be sick if he didn't double. How many 8s are there? By the way, double 4 also hits. Double 2 doesn't. So he could hit with a 6-2, that's 2 rolls because there's 6-2 and 2-6, a 5-3, or a 3-5, that's 4 rolls, or a double 4. So those are the real big jokers that would immediately give him a huge advantage, unless of course red came back in with a double 5, came back in, hit back, and covered. But that's the only roll that would be really devastating. Red could come back in, blue could come back in immediately with a double 5, or blue could come back in with any 5 and still have a chance, but still, we know the odds of coming in with a 5 are only about 31%, 11 out of 36. So an 8 would be pretty devastating for red. What else is devastating? What if he rolled double 5? What if he rolled... double 5 would be devastating. He would move his checkers around and win the race, and maybe even win some gammons, just in a racing gammon. Those are about the only devastating rolls. By the way, let's use Extreme Gammon to check what are the devastating rolls. Let's see if I've missed anything. Oh yeah, double 2 would be pretty good for red. He would get to here. I would count that as a pretty high equity roll. But we can go to Analyze, Dice Distribution. I hit 3 ply. Look at this. Double 4, 5-3, 6-2, double 5, and double 2. Looks like I'm pretty smart. I named, and by the way, I hadn't looked at this before, so I really am this smart. Those weren't too hard to see, but it's a good way to check it. All of those rolls will put the equity for red right through the movies. And all of the rolls are pretty bad. All of the rolls reduce the winning chances and the equity. That's what red means. Green means his equity goes up, and red means his equity goes down. He even has a horror shake, double 3. Why was a horror shake double 3? Oh yeah, double 3. He can't move these checkers and he crashes his board. He gives up a point in his board, either the 6 point or the 4 point. So we can see by dice distribution, using most common variation, what's most likely to happen. What's really most likely to happen? What's most likely to happen is red's going to move something other than an 8 in something other than double 5 or double 2, many of the other rolls. 2-1, he moves in here. 3-1, he moves in here. How does he play a 5-6? He has to run. If he plays a 5-6 or a 6-4, he has to run and not hit. And what's going to happen then? Well, blue's going to hit him and probably hit and cover, or hit and make a point, or hit, or maybe he won't hit. Maybe he'll just cover. Maybe he doesn't get a number that hits. He rolls something that doesn't hit. 5-2 doesn't hit. There's an example. There's a few rolls that don't hit. And he'll cover, make the point. Red still might not get by. There are 16 numbers next time. If red's got one checker here, sorry, there's going to be 17 numbers, 18, 19 numbers that don't get by. Half the time about he's not going to get by if he's got one checker here and these checkers blocking here. So there's still a chance that red might get hit him. But again, how can you see all this and know all this ahead of time? You try to figure it out. You use dice distribution. You use your logic. You use most common variation, what rolls are most likely going to be there. But if you still don't see why this is a clear double and why this is a clear take, it's probably because you can't in your mind visualize how this game plays out as well as you could. So that's when I recommend playing the game a few rolls to see how it goes. Put it in as setup, play from position, and play red against Extreme Gammon. Or let Extreme Gammon play red and you play blue. Or better yet, let Extreme Gammon play both. And see how it plays out. And watch the two best players in the world play it. And you'll see how this game plays out. You'll see why red is going to win and do well enough to double this game. And you'll see why blue can win enough himself and do well enough to take this game. Don't do it one time, because one time will only tell you what happens one time. You might have to do it 8, 10, 12 times, and even then you won't get a fair reading of what statistically is going to happen, but you will get a real good idea of how the game plays. There's one thing I do, by the way, before I play against the computer. I go to Options, Board Configuration, Animations, and I make the game play very slowly so I can watch it. These numbers are fairly fast. By raising the numbers to around 100, Extreme Gammon will play slow. And I'd like it to play slow because I'd like to see if I would make the same play Extreme Gammon makes and watch it play out more slowly. So I'll apply that, and now let's watch the two best players in the world play this game out just one time. I'm just showing you how to do this so you can do it yourself from any position. Play from position. And let's let Extreme Gammon play Extreme Gammon. The first thing we should see is that Extreme Gammon will double, red will double, and blue will take. And then we'll see what the rolls are and see what happens. I hit OK. Okay, 6-4. He's forced to run. Let's see what blue does. I said he probably hits and covers. I'm not that smart. He couldn't hit. Ah, I was right. He doesn't get by all the time. Now he better hit him. Ooh, he missed him. So now we see why red really had a double here. If he hadn't doubled, he would be in really bad shape. Let's go back to the original position. I can hit Control C and then Control V and put it back in again and start all over. Let's do it again. I would do it again and again and again. The first time proved to me why red was really smart to double. He didn't get hit, he got by, he escaped. If he hadn't doubled, how sick would he be to only win 1 point? That doesn't tell me what statistically is going to happen. That tells me that if you were blue, you would have been an idiot to take. And of course we know you're not an idiot to take. You're supposed to take this game and be a 40% error to drop. So again, one game doesn't prove anything, but it does illustrate something. This proves why you cannot learn backgammon by playing backgammon. That is not how you learn the game. If you looked at this position and studied it, and then played it out one time, and you saw the result that we just saw, you would come to the conclusion that blue would be crazy to take this cube. You would be learning anecdotally from what happened in that one play. That's why you really need to study these things, see what the rollouts say, see what Extreme Gammon says, and really understand the position. I hope this helps you. I hope you found this interesting. And I appreciate all the feedback and all the positive feedback. A lot of people tell me they look forward to these videos. They really like them. Most of them are going to be closed to the public where you have to go into USBGF to see them. Right now I'm doing more publicly simply because that method of being able to post them on and link them isn't working. So I'm waiting for our technological people to fix that. In the meantime, I'm sharing these with everybody, and I hope you enjoy them. I hope you'll join the USBGF and support our wonderful organization anyway. Thank you very much. Bye.